Yo, what's up everybody, it's your boy Jed here, and as I've said quite a few times before, I am not a racing guy. Never have been, never was, never will be. I was never a big fan of racing games except for a select few, and recently I was replaying some games from my childhood, namely Jak X Combat Racing, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, and Mario Kart Wii, just to name a few. All games I played to hell and back when I was young, and they all have one thing in common. They all involve cars. No, but jokes aside, they don't really have anything in common. I just wanted to make a joke about the fact that they all involve cars because, they're all racing games. Moving on, playing these games in particular, along with a select few others, has got me wanting to replay another game from my childhood, and one that I had been meaning to make a video on for the longest of times now. That game is Burnout Revenge. Let's talk about it, shall we?
Yo, rap dudes put me in a bad mood, go nuts like cashews, I spit like bad food, I have to blast you, I'm sick like at you. Got street cred with no facial tattoos, a beast like baboons, you making bad tunes, I'm popping like balloons, I got some bad news, if you hating on me, you must be confused, give me two black eyes just like a raccoon, they don't really want to see me, I can...
You're tuned to Crash FM, welcome back to the world of Burnout. This time, everyone's out for revenge. It's taken event organizers over a year to find the ultimate locations to fight and crash. Competitors will be charging hard through those newly scouted routes. You're gonna have to stay sharp, because this time they feature alternates, shortcuts, and big air opportunities. We'll be going coast to coast in North America, heading east from Angel Valley, then swinging by the technical backroads of Lone Peak. And the industrial landscapes of Motor City. Make way for the super fast freeway at Sunshine Keys. It's a Revenge World Tour, remember? So we get to rip it up right through the heart of Europe. Dangerous curves of White Mountain. Make way for the cobbled streets of Eternal City. Buckle up, people. And of course, we get to go long haul. Where the right side of the road is the wrong side of the road. Through the neon-filled nighttime Eastern Bay, then tear through the urban hills of the awesome Central Route. Without a doubt, abilities will be pushed to the max on the Revenge World Tour. Now, for the first time in Burnout competition, same way traffic is there to be nailed. We call it checking traffic. It's not just the rules and events, all the rides are different too. Gentlemen, start your engines. New competitors have entered the Burnout circuit. Local talent will mix it up with the hottest burners from last year. Check out the hot new GP action, where the very best of the hometown racers duke it out with those from out of state. Brand new to the racing action this year is the destructive Crash Breaker events. If you get taken out, detonate your vehicle for explosive revenge. Fresh for this year is the new Eliminator format. Don't get caught in last place when the timer gets to 0. Road Rage, the crowd favorite, is back, and even better than before. We'll be pitting competitors up against rage rivals, with some surprises thrown in for good measure. You better be prepared. One-of-a-kind, custom-designed crash courses for the ultimate in destruction. Drivers are gonna have to blow it up huge to win these new events. Survey the landscape, master the launch control, conquer the wind, and power up your crash breakers. If you're lucky, you'll take down the bonus target car at a devastation. You gotta love it. The newest competition on the world circuit, is a thrash through the traffic-filled streets. Check the traffic and get your revenge on rush hour. And remember, the clock is ticking. Enough talk. Time to drive. Keep it locked to Crash FM.
Burnout Revenge is a game made by Criterion and published by EA. Yes, that EA. Back in 2005 and released on the PS2, Xbox 360, and the original Xbox. It's also the 5th, technically 4th Burnout game, releasing the same day as the PSP and DS's Burnout Legends. With our quick little history lesson out of the way, let's just start the game, and what better way to start than by introducing you to the first area of said game. Sunshine Keys introduces us to the first 3 events of the game, those being Traffic Attack, Burning Lap, and a race. What better way to start then with the first of the 3, Traffic Attack. I'll let the lady from the intro explain.
Hate traffic? Good, because it's time to get revenge on rush hour. Burnout style. Slam and shunt same-way traffic to score points. But avoid direct hits with oversized oncoming and cross traffic. Use the smaller size traffic to hit them instead. Keep an eye on the time. You'll get a chunk of time free. But when you get down to 20 seconds, you gotta smash the traffic to keep the clock ticking. Wreck the most cars to beat the traffic attack targets.
As you just heard the lady explain, Traffic Attack works by running into oncoming traffic and causing the cars to collide and hit one another to score points. You can also score points by having a near-miss encounter with oncoming traffic, and you earn more points the more collision you cause. Just do yourself a favor, don't run into trucks. You will die. Burning Lap is, generally speaking, just a time trial to get to the goal as fast as possible, and Race is a race. Not much else to say about it, just your standard race, but with that out of the way, we can move on to the second area of the game. Motor City introduces you to the next 3 events you'll see throughout the game, those being Crash, Road Rage, and Grand Prix. Why don't we start with Crash, since again this is the first one you get, and once again as well, I'll just let the lady do the explaining.
Welcome to a crash course in crashing. Your aim is to crash into and explode as many cars as possible. But it's not as easy as just rolling your car into a junction. First up, you need to learn about boost. Listen up, this is important. Step on the gas to stop the launch bar and set your speed. Hit the gas again on the way down to launch your vehicle. Nail the sweet spot at both ends for a power boost start. Careful though, get it wrong and you could stall, or even blow up your engine. Nasty. The burnout streets can get breezy, so watch the wind when soaring through the air, and use aftertouch to steer. If you feel you're falling short of your target, there may be another way round. Keep your eyes open for escape route ramps that can get you back on track. Now hit the traffic and let the destruction begin. Check it out. Crashing cars fills your boost meter. When it's full, explode your car by pumping up the crash breaker. The faster you pump, the bigger the crash breaker explosion. Don't forget to use Aftertouch to steer your car and cause even more crashes. Hit props and cars to score. Just think, the bigger the vehicle, the bigger the score. Exploding traffic multiplies your score. Catch the bonus target car for maximum revenge. Selection is crucial when it comes to making the most of your crashing. Small cars are light, fast, and controllable, but have smaller crash breakers. Bigger cars have stronger crash breakers. They may be slower, but because they're heavier, they're less affected by wind. Choose your weapon.
As you heard, the way Crash works is by causing enough chaos and that you earn points, and the more chaos and destruction you cause, the higher your points go up. The way Road Rage works is that you get more points the more cars you take out, and the more you crash or get taken out, the quicker the timer goes down as your car takes more damage. And Grand Prix is just a set of 4 races that you have to win in order to progress. The next 2 areas though, Angel Valley and Lone Peak, don't really have any events to talk about, as they both only contain one event, that being a crash event, so we can just move on to the next area of the game past those 2. Eternal City doesn't have any new events to talk about, but it does introduce us to the long forwards and long reverse versions of Race and Burning Lap, which are pretty much just long form versions of them. So there isn't really much to talk about in that regard, but I wanted to talk about it anyway because it is a nice area to drive around, and I do enjoy driving around it and showing it off. But that aside, let's move on to the next area of the game. White Mountain is mostly events we already have seen before, but it does have 2 new events for us to talk about, those being Eliminator and our first look at Crash Breaker Races. Crash Breaker Races are a variant of a regular race where you have Crash Breaker active whenever you crash and can use it to get revenge on the person who took you out or take out those near you. Eliminator races are time limit races where the one in last place gets eliminated every few seconds. And all you have to do to win is not being last. Pretty standard, racing stuff with the Eliminator. But with that out of the way, we can move on to the second to last area of the game. Central Route consists of 3 crash events, a burning lap, race, and traffic attack. That's stuff we haven't seen before, but I did feel like mentioning it anyway, as much like with Eternal City, it is an enjoyable area to drive in and around, and generally speaking, it's just a nice area to look at. But with that aside, we can move on to the final area of the game. Eastern Bay is the final area of the game, and while it's pretty much all events we've seen before, we also have a lower link version of Road Rage and Burning Lap, and the way lower link works is pretty much exactly the same as the previous events in question, but with the added addendum that you can only use light and super light cars, which isn't a big deal until you consider the fact that light and super light cars especially fucking fly when boosting and getting high airtime, which is what these 2 events in particular are based around, so you can go pretty damn far, pretty damn fast. And since you're moving so fast already, when you go fucking flying like that, as fast as you are, you have an increased chance of screwing the fuck up if your reactions aren't up to par. And with the way the map is designed, it can really end up screwing you over in the event if you want to go for gold. But it is a nice challenge, I will admit that, even if it is such a small detail that makes such a massive change. And I know I didn't need to go on that tangent, but it's a thing. It is a thing it is a thing, and that one small change can completely fuck you over. So yeah, that's pretty much the game. You'll get harder versions of these exact challenges as you progress through the game, but it's generally the same thing you've done up to this point. There's nothing else really worth talking about in detail. But this game is super fun, and I had an absolute blast revisiting this game for this video. Like I said at the start, I had been meaning to make this video for the longest time, so I could not be more glad that I finally get to cross this video off my videos to make list. Maybe I'll make a video on the third racing game I'm a big fan of in the future. Who knows? Only time will tell. But what I can tell you is that if you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out and enjoy yourself.